Hello and Happy New Year. In this video, I'm going to give you 10 B2B marketing resolutions to have a better 2026. These resolutions, commandments, or rules are what allow you and your B2B business to get better results with less waste in the year ahead. This video is for you if you work for or own a boring niche B2B business and you need a more consistent, steady flow of leads coming in. Even if you only implement a few of these over the next 12 months, your 2026 is going to look so different compared to last year. Also, there'll be a link below where there'll be a much more in-depth article with step-by-steps for each individual resolution or instruction, because I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of every single step in this video. I'm going to talk through and there's much more information for you. Resolution number 1 is you need to stop trying to impress other people in your industry, your peers and your competitors. Start trying to impress the people that can actually buy from you and your potential customers. Build all your ads, your content, your messaging, your website pages for the people that buy from you, not trying to sound smart and impress your peers. We see this so often in loads of different niche industries where actually what you're doing is you're writing for other marketers or other accounting businesses or other IT service providers. You're not writing for the potential customers that you're going after. And even when you see this is when you look at like your LinkedIn followers or the people that work for your company, you're more likely to get likes, reach from people either in your own industry and your competitors or people trying to sell to you, not the people you care about and the people that are going to make you money. Ultimately, buyers don't care about how smart you sound. They care about their own problems and the issues and things they're facing. And if you can help solve or get rid of those problems and actually give them a solution that's worth their money. When you try and sound too clever, what you actually do is sound unclear and it just switches people off and you lose that person. It's a really common B2B marketing mistake, but sort of writing to get applause from other people in the industry and competitors. And like I say, not making it clear, easy and simple for the people that actually give you revenue, pay your mortgage, pay your rent and pay your salary. A really quick, simple test to do is even just looking at your website homepage and ask yourself these questions. What do you actually do? Like, could a stranger answer that in a quick 5 seconds after looking at your website, or are they absolutely bamboozled by some of the language you're using? Who is it actually for? And this can't be bland, generic, and it's for anyone and everyone. It needs to have a specific audience that you're going after, and that needs to be super obvious. What problem do you actually solve? Not a long list of features that your product has, the actual pain point and issue that you're helping your customers get rid of. Reasons why they should trust you and work with you, whether it's real proof, case studies, testimonials, other advantages and USPs and benefits you've got over similar solutions in the market. And this one's missed out so often is what do you want them to do next? What idiot-proof action do you want them to take so you can start working together? The next resolution is you need to know your numbers. It's shocking how many B2B businesses don't actually know the crucial numbers to their business. Like, how many leads does your website get a week? What percentage of them go into calls? What percentage of calls turn into deals? How long does it usually take to get someone from a call to signing and paying you? Those sorts of really key numbers that are crucial to the bottom line are the things you need to know. And so many marketing teams waste time, effort, and energy talking about and measuring and trying to optimize for fluffy vanity metrics like impressions, reach, or other nonsense that isn't actually doing the main thing. Getting leads in, getting sales, getting real revenue. It's actually making your jobs harder. Because the surprising thing about like niche B2B businesses, especially the boring and unsexy ones, is once you work out these numbers, it actually helps you out massively because usually the deal sizes, the average customer lifetime value, and the revenue you're generating per deal is quite high. And compared to B2C businesses who are operating on higher volumes but lower margins and lower customer lifetime value, you have a lot more like wiggle room with your marketing and advertising campaigns, and you can get a much higher cost per lead but still be highly profitable. Sometimes we sit down with businesses that come and haven't actually worked out these calculations before and are pleasantly surprised about their current cost per leads, the cost per acquisitions, and the numbers that they can afford to actually invest and bolster up their marketing budget. This massively helps then if you're actually doing decent campaigns on things like Google Ads, LinkedIn Ads, and you're creating this marketing engine that keeps growing and ultimately might get you that promotion. Or if it's your own business, help grow the business and get you more holidays. Some absolute basics to nail first would be website conversion rate, average deal value, customer lifetime value, days it takes to close, and leads to close rate. Even just working those out will give you a massive eye opener and actually plotting and predicting out the next year ahead for you. If you're using CRM platforms like HubSpot, Salesforce, they'll help you come up with these numbers quite quickly. Even if you're working off an old Excel spreadsheet, it's still vital that you take some time to work out these numbers to your best ability. Right, this one is a resolution that I took up a few years ago and had to sort of reverse my initial opinions on it. That is, don't be scared to send DMs. LinkedIn DMs get a really bad reputation because of the worst offenders, but the proof's in the pudding. Because everyone's been on the receiving end of like lazy, long, arduous corporate waffle speak sent from people that haven't even qualified you as a prospect, but sending you huge, boring messages that you know you're not right for. And your own lived experience of this is sometimes why you would be put off or against using them for your business. You think it's spammy, you think it's beneath you, you think it doesn't work. But it does work, and sometimes it's just about the right timing to the right person. It's not desperate if it closes you deals and wins more business. Like I myself had to humbly back down on my opinions of this after I started using it for my agency, but also implemented it for clients with LinkedIn message campaigns. If you're consistent, if you personalize it, and that consistency is really key, by the way. People don't just magically want to work with you after one message. It can happen, but that's very unlikely and rare. That consistency is crucial. But because email outreach and deliverability are getting harder than ever, especially on things like Gmail where it just sends everything pretty much to the promotions tab or junk folder, LinkedIn messages still get read. The problem isn't the channel itself and the strategy, it's how people are using it lazily and not getting the results they want, or they're going through their own lived experience and thinking, well, that one was awful for me, I don't want to have that product or service, so why would people ever want my product or service? Or why would people ever buy my product or service for a LinkedIn DM? People doing it sloppily and those worst offenders just make it stand out when you do it in a good way. The key is keep the messages short and sweet, but don't ignore those follow-ups because people are busy and sometimes it can get missed. Use different assets and different formats to engage people. Some people might reply after watching a simple 2-minute Loom video of you explaining your process or walking through a testimonial or case study, or even doing something bespoke for them where you say you're a website optimization agency that helps lift conversion rates. You go through 3 quick tips that you can see on their website straight away, but actually make it personal, not one of these fake personalized ones that come into your email inbox or LinkedIn DMs. So there's manual LinkedIn DMs where you're obviously grinding out and sending to people that you've added, connected with, that you think are relevant for your business. You can personalize these as much as you want. You can personalize them briefly. Or there's LinkedIn message ads where you can create a very specific audience and shortcut that sending out, and you're just paying to get those sends to the people and in their inboxes. Both of these, you'll be really surprised at the open rates, and especially on the paid LinkedIn message campaigns, the cost per sends and the cost per opens, and ultimately the cost per lead and cost per call that you're generating versus traditional cold email campaigns, which realistically right now are harder than ever and really struggle to get in anyone's inbox. Trigger warning as well though, you will get some rude replies or people that are absolutely dumbfounded and offended that you've had the audacity to send them a message on LinkedIn. And often this comes from the exact same people that their sales teams are bombarding people across all different channels and platforms with shit messaging and boring copy. And the irony is real in that one. But forget about it, move on. If it's a no, it's a no. That's fine. You don't need to spend hours convincing them or getting an argument. You just move on to a different person. But yeah, if you've put it up before, give it a go, stick at it. And ultimately as well, if you're sending them out manually for free, it's a free new sales channel that could open up a hell of a lot of business for you. Especially if you're watching this as a one man or one woman band who's just got a product or service that they need to drum up and start building the business out. This next one is a personal bugbear of mine, is just because you're working B2B, stop being boring by default. Everyone seems to default to boring because it's what feels safe. And yes, we're corporate. We are a business selling to other businesses. But for those businesses, there are people on the other end of it, people with emotions, people who behave illogically, irrationally, and have their own problems and issues they're dealing with. Stop trying to sell to businesses and then stop being so boring and doing what everyone else is doing. If you're using the same stock photos of handshakes or people pretending like they're loving a video call, you do not stand out. Everyone sort of blends and recognises these as corporate messaging and corporate imagery. People don't even consciously ignore these ads, they're just blind to them and scroll straight past. Their brain filters them out automatically. You need to grab your potential buyer's attention, and to do that, you need to be different and you need to stop being boring. And one of the quick hacks of this is stop trying to make it look so professional and on brand. You don't even need to be like incredibly innovative or groundbreaking. You just need formats that do not look like traditional advertising or marketing. Here's 3 simple formats that if you're ballsy enough, you can steal and run with your B2B business, and it will help you stand out massively from everyone else in your industry. Number 1 would simply be going and grabbing one of your staff members a microphone and getting vox pops or street interviews, raw, unfiltered opinions. You ask a member of the public or someone at a conference that's relevant to your industry a slightly uncomfortable question and see what comes out. That's the magic in it, whether it be really insightful, really exciting, really shocking, really funny. And the key is making sure that the question slightly tails and trails back to your business, your product, your service. And even then, even better, if it can lend itself to you being a solution to those problems and issues people are speaking about. Think of it, if you like, a tax advisor and accountant, where you're doing street interviews to the public around what's the worst mistake they've ever made with money, or what would you do if you won the lottery tomorrow. You can link those back at the end of the video to what you do as a business, but it's much more exciting, it's much more authentic. And the reason this works is because it's raw, it's not polished, it's not overly produced, it's real people giving real answers. And yes, some of them might be awful, boring, just cut it. But some of them are going to be great. And you can use that content across paid ads, across your organic content. You can even start and launch that TikTok channel that you've always been thinking about purely off the back of these. It just takes a bit of balls for someone to go and do it. And the reason it works is because it does not feel like an ad at all. It's no corporate polish, there's no script, it's real people, real answers. The next one you can steal, which we've been using for a lot of clients recently, is expose style advertorials. What this is a piece of content, an ad, which is written, looks and feels like editorial journalism rather than an obvious ad. You're talking like provocative tabloid headlines uncovering an investigation or expose that's relevant to the industry and the products and service you provide. And throughout that article, you take the audience through a narrative arc and a story that ultimately pitches your business as the white knight that rescues someone. But ultimately, as you go through this article, whether you're talking about an absolute horror story, which your business then helps solve and rescue that person like a white knight, damsel in distress, from that horror they were experiencing, or it's uncovered this secret expose, this secret hidden method that you and your business are applying that gets these magical results. Why it works is people are subconsciously trained to sort of skip most things that look and feel like ads. When this is done properly and not misleading, it can skyrocket click-through rates for any campaigns and helps build authority and trust in a way that's almost covert, like a Trojan horse, and it can work really, really well. We've seen that for clients recently in very niche industries where they're building up a huge reputation quickly because people almost subconsciously think these are actual articles written about them when actually it's campaigns produced by us directing to pages on their website that look like editorials. You see it so much in like B2C advertising, especially like supplements industry, fitness industry. And if you're the only ones applying it to your niche, boring, unsexy B2B industry, you will reap the rewards. Another one that's timely right now that you can steal straight away is you do mocked up day in the life carousels of people that you sell to before they work with you and after they work with you. You know, the ones that simply like selfie photo and text on screen, whether it be TikTok, whether it be LinkedIn, whether it be Instagram carousels, where people are going through a day in the life. If you can showcase that to be an absolute horror show of a day in the life where they're dealing with all the problems that they might face in their business without your product or service versus a day in the life of a person who does use your product and service, and showing that contrast, it's a really good way to show before and after, or people that do work with you and people that don't work with you in a much more innovative, exciting, raw way that doesn't look like an ad as opposed to just a plain before and after image. One example could be if you sell a software to construction business owners that helps them optimize their time. It's very easy to go for a day in the life of someone who doesn't use this tool and is trying to find files, WhatsApps, messages, they're missing phone calls, etc. from important customers, clients, partners, versus the one who's on top of it all because they've got it organized through an ERP system, a SaaS tool, which helps them organize every aspect of their business. You need to stop being boring and start creating ads that people recognize in real life and they actually like to watch in real life. Meaning, more of your stuff gets seen, more of your messaging gets heard, and more of the people that can buy from you are actually aware of who you are, what you do, and more likely to work with you in the future. Instead of wondering why you're wasting budget, the likelihood is any campaigns you've done before and wasted budget, it's probably because your ad campaigns and marketing messages, your content is shit and boring. So you're just throwing money on the fire. If you actually start creating stuff that's not boring, you'll see how much easier it is to get results and a good return on investment from your campaigns. This one continues on a similar point, and make 2026 the year that you use raw, unpolished, unproduced video content. It is the absolute fastest way to build trust and establish authority with buyers that you've never met. Most B2B companies either never post any video at all because they're not comfortable doing it, or they massively overcompensate and pay for a huge, high production, polished thing that actually doesn't work and get them any results what they want to do. Yes, if you want a history of your company or a client testimonial to be filmed in a polished way and pay 10 grand for a production company to come and film it, okay. If you want a corporate video, that's fine. If you want video that, like I say, establishes trusts, gets more leads for your business and helps you close more deals, raw, authentic, simple ones filmed with your iPhone is actually the way to go. We've tested this extensively on client campaigns, and if you've got that same corporate feel with polished headshots and same background music and boring content versus someone in the sales team simply given a decent pitch in a selfie mode on their iPhone, that second one wins every single time. One of the amazing hidden benefits of actually using video content, especially in ad campaigns to your target audience, especially if it's an audience that might already be somewhat aware of you, is when they actually get on the call, they feel like they already know you because they've seen you talk about problems they're facing, issues they're facing, and it's so much easier to close them once you get on a call versus a complete stranger. So if you're thinking about doing this for your business, it would really help if you're in the videos using the people that would be handling those initial qualification calls or initial meetings, because it just helps process so much more. And it doesn't need to be in-depth video YouTube tutorials like this, which, spoiler alert, this really does help your business, even if the views are low, because you're going after specific problems for specific niche audiences that ultimately, if they watch the whole video, they want to work with you, again and again. If you're watching this video, there's a button below where you can book in a call and we can see if we're a good fit to working together. But I get that filming any video can seem daunting if you've not done it before. And the good thing is you get better and better the more you do. You don't need to follow a word for word script because that's quite hard in the beginning. But here's like a rough, loose framework for you to follow that's basically follows a story that I'm sure you can do endless different stories about your business and things you've helped solve before that you can follow in a short 2 to 3 minute video that would work for an ad campaign for your business right now. The easiest thing to start is open up with a problem that you know your specific customer is facing, or even better, a customer that you've worked with before, what specific problem they had. Then you dig into that problem a bit further and you talk about the impact it was causing to their business by not having solved this problem. Then naturally, you talk about the solution, how you help them solve this very specific problem, which is specific to your industry, specific to the types of customers and businesses you work with. And then the result, what changed for them after working with you. It really helps to get specific and not try and do every single problem and every single solution in one video. Do loads of different ones, and you can talk through different customers, different stories, because that gives a real authenticity, and you'll probably find it easier to talk through and create these videos without too much pressure. I know it can feel cringy, I know it can feel awkward, but I cannot stress enough how much easier it makes sales calls and how much more likely you are to close deals if that person already feels like they know you, trust you, and like you, and want to work with you. It helps so much, and we've seen it in loads of different industries, absolutely transform their business just by simple, raw, unpolished video content. Right, this next one is a bit controversial, but too many B2B businesses are wasting time on organic content that never actually reaches anyone that's relevant. Like I said earlier in the video, probably a lot of your organic content is exclusively shown to competitors, people trying to sell to you, and your current and old colleagues. That's the sad fact. It's not actually reaching the people that bring you revenue and your potential customers. Organic alone is not precise enough, especially if you're in a niche-specific B2B industry. You need to use paid advertising because the options are there to be super specific and laser precise around who sees your advertising, who sees your messaging, and who you can actually work with. There's no point living in hope that the right people are going to see your organic content, because the reality is it's probably not getting seen by barely anyone, and these aren't the people that actually buy from you. Hoping the algorithm works its magic is not a strategy, it's a prayer, and often it doesn't work and is really discouraging. Especially for those teams who spend hours and hours creating content that ultimately does nothing. But why this matters for niche B2B businesses is ultimately the people who can buy from you right now could be A very, very small number. And so chasing after a vanity metric of impressions, reach, likes, followers in the thousands, whatever it might be, tens of thousands, is ultimately meaningless because this doesn't translate to real results and revenue and cash in your back pocket. You need to reach specific job roles at specific companies at the right time they're considering in upgrading their product or service or needing the solution you provide. You can't do that with just organic content. I've done loads of other videos on how amazing LinkedIn ads and how laser precise you can get your audience targeting to whether it's people in your current like CRM list that you've already spoken to, whether it's people who visited certain pages on your websites, whether it's certain job titles at certain specific companies that you know you'd love to work with. And you can layer that all up together with different intent signals and buying behavior to make sure that the actual content you're spending hours creating, that you're applying some of the resolutions that we talked about earlier in the video, making sure it's not boring, making it raw, authentic video, making sure that it's written and created in a way that people understand and care about it, that your actual buyers actually see it. And it doesn't just go to people trying to sell your recruitment services or software or your direct competitors. Paid ads give you control over your distribution and give you a predictable pipeline. Paid ads are how you get in front of the right people right now. Yes, some paid ad campaigns are bad, and usually that's because they're creating bad ads and they don't know how to use the platforms properly to apply the right audience targeting settings. But for a B2B business, especially with a niche audience, and you actually do have a good product or service, it's often a no-brainer to start using proper paid advertising campaigns to give you more leads more often and help grow your business. I mentioned this before, but if you haven't already, 2026 is the year that you need to start retargeting for your niche B2B business. It's the single biggest, quickest win that a hell of a lot of B2B companies still are not using. It genuinely baffles me because everyone's sort of aware of the concept of retargeting in B2C when you're going to buy a pair of trainers, you're shopping for a holiday, you're looking for car insurance. Lo and behold, the next time you log onto social media, you'll probably see ads from the exact website you're on or one of their key competitors because those platforms know you're in a decision to buy that sort of product. But in niche specific B2B services, it's so often underused. And in reality, no one's coming to your industrial parts manufacturing website for a laugh. They're actually one of the people that can buy from you, and they might have come to you originally from some of your other really hard-earned marketing or sales work, whether it's your SEO you've been doing for 3 years, whether it's they met one of your sales team at a conference or responded to his initial call, whatever it might be. If you do not have your retargeting campaigns properly set up and running, you're essentially losing those people forever. And the reality of a buying decision is if they actually came to your website then, they've probably opened 3, 4, 5 plus of your competitors' tabs. And the one business that's adopting retargeting campaigns, nudging, reminding them they exist, showing them case studies, testimonials, and ads that capture their attention and bring them back in and assure them and build up that trust, authority, and credibility that they can solve that problem, they're the ones that are going to win the business. Make sure it's you in your specific niche B2B industry that is the one company running retargeting ads. Honestly, this is like the lowest hanging fruit for any specific B2B business. And just implementing a retargeting campaign alone, even if you've got a low amount of website visitors, can produce huge, huge results in a matter of weeks to months. Like, in fact, the more specific and the more niche you are, the more impact this can have very, very quickly. Right, this next resolution follows very closely on from actually running retargeting ads, and it's time to fix your tracking properly. Like I said, there's a full step-by-step guide in the link below to actually click through and go through our in-depth tutorial on how to fix your tracking, how to implement Google Tag Manager so you can have across your website, across your analytics, measuring every conversion that matters and making sure that LinkedIn, Google Ads, Meta Ads, if you so want it, TikTok ads, Reddit ads, actually measure what happens and allows you to do that previous step of retargeting the people that visit your website, retargeting the people that fill out a form, retargeting people that do a certain action on your website and having it all managed under one roof properly, without errors and without issues. Because most B2B companies have broken or incomplete tracking. Someone set it up once, didn't set it up properly, their website's changed, and a lot of people don't even have like LinkedIn ads or Google Tag Manager set up at all. If this is you, book on a call and we can do that for you for free and put you on that first step to actually building a proper tracking engine that helps you retarget people from the day it's installed. And it's amazing how many people we see running paid ads on LinkedIn, Google Ad, and not even insignificant sums. They might be spending thousands of pounds a month without this set up properly in the background. Effectively, they don't know what it's doing. They don't know what it's generating if they've not set up their tracking properly. And I know it sounds boring, but it's really important. And actually, it's not as hard as you might think it is. Google Tag Manager is like a thing that you install once on your website's backend, and you can manage all the other different social media advertising platforms within it to make sure that it's all uniform, they're all tracking the same things at the right time. You can implement things like the Facebook pixel and the LinkedIn Insight tag separately, but it is easier to do via Google Tag Manager to make sure it's uniform and it's all reading the same data. In that article below, what we've got is step-by-step instructions, as well as a copy and paste AI prompt that you can copy into the AI of your choosing. And it will basically ask you some questions to diagnose exactly what your setup is, exactly what your skill level and sophistication is, to help you implement Google Tag Manager properly. And once that tracking is fixed, once it's like a couple of hours work, one afternoon, get your head down, get a coffee, go and do it. That's fixed. It's sorted forever, and you'll finally know what's working and what isn't. This one's really annoying for me because I see it all the time for inexperienced advertisers that might start and launch their first few campaigns on Google Ads, LinkedIn Ads, Meta Ads, and also even on crappy agencies that are managing and wasting budget for people, is stop letting defaults on ad platforms burn your budget. You need to set things up properly before spending and understand that sometimes a platform's best interests aren't actually your best interests and how you can get better results. They're all designed to make spending on ads easy, but not necessarily effective, especially for B2B audiences, B2B businesses who go after super specific types of customers. A lot of the defaults in place are set to maximize Google, LinkedIn, Meta's revenue, not necessary results for the end user. And also, a lot of these ad platforms are really designed around B2C customers and trying to reach the general public and optimize around that. You're different. You're not that. You're going after super specific types of people. The two most egregious, heinous violations of this, three actually. So the first two is LinkedIn, by default now, and it tries to hide it down collapsible menus, and I've mentioned this in other videos, is you need to, absolutely need to, turn off these default settings on LinkedIn. You need to turn off LinkedIn Audience Network and LinkedIn's Audience Expansion. Audience Network basically just wastes all your budget, 70-80% plus we've seen on client campaigns, where it's going to irrelevant placements on irrelevant websites and completely ignores all your targeting criteria that you've set up in your ad campaigns. Often when we do audits of companies that say, oh, we tried LinkedIn ads, but really nothing happened, just getting a bunch of spam traffic, we click and tick one box to show the spend that's actually on LinkedIn, like you think if you're running LinkedIn ads, oh yeah, I'm running ads on LinkedIn, versus LinkedIn Audience Network, which can be from anywhere in the world, on websites that often it's spam, fake traffic, and then completely ignore those targeting criteria. And like I say, 70-80% of your spend might be coming from Audience Network. Second one on LinkedIn is Audience Expansion, which is a less criminal effect, but effectively goes, yeah, you've set up a really specific audience of people in your CRM list that have this amount of job titles and that work for companies of this size that you might have spent hours narrowing, refining, making sure that exactly who you want to reach. And ticking Audience Expansion just goes, show it to anyone. Show it to anyone and spend my money. Awful. And it's the two most common things we see in LinkedIn ad accounts of people we audit, even the ones that work with agencies, because LinkedIn is its own beast that people aren't as familiar with. Third one, and it's one that's getting more and more annoying every week, is Meta ads. Now you have to manually turn off about 10 different AI optimizations, which especially if you're working for an B2B business, or even like myself, you're working with a client that they approve designs of. These AI optimizations, some of them are just awful. They add awful background music. They completely change the text, completely change the image. Eventually, I reckon those AI optimizations might get better, but at the minute, you're wasting budget secretly on things that just look shite. Again, I've got full articles, full videos on hidden traps that you might find in things like LinkedIn ads, Google ads as well, and Meta advertising. If you're running campaigns already and you're thinking, hang on, are we guilty of any of this? Click the link below, book in a call. Right, this is the 10th and last resolution for your B2B business in 2026, and you've watched through this video. Don't let procrastination get in the way, and stop waiting for perfect. Start, learn, tweak, improve. You just need to get the ball rolling and start doing something. Don't let this be another YouTube video with what I hope is decent advice that you never actually implement to start getting better results. Slow decisions cost a lot more in the long term than imperfect execution. And also, if you are that overworked, busy marketing exec who's just wants something to work and actually progress the company forward, it's a lot easier to do something and say sorry than it sometimes is trying to get through waves and waves of approval, especially from people who might be reluctant to try something new. The fastest moving companies and the ones that get the best results, the ones who actually do things, test, tweak, learn, innovate, and see what's working. And again, done is better than perfect. Don't try and over procrastinate to try and get things perfect, because a lot of the time, and we see this with clients all the time, is we make a lot of different ad content for them. And the stuff that we might not even think would work, or they might not think works, is the one that works. The market decides, the audience decides. Don't try and deliberate too much over, should we go for this headline versus that headline? How do we word the headline on this landing page? If you can, A/B test them both out and see what works and see what actually is the live data from the real people that make the decisions, your customers. If you get into that habit of doing stuff and building momentum, that helps build confidence and stops this like analysis paralysis, whatever that word is, where nothing happens. And you as well in your company, you can build confidence in the people around you internally that, oh yeah, they get shit done, they can do this, and keep moving forward. Thanks for watching through this whole video. If you implement even a few of these, I'm confident this can be your year. There's 10 different resolutions, commandments that will help your B2B business stick out and grow over the next 12 months and beyond. And a lot of them your competitors won't be doing. Not theory, not fluff, actual things that move the pipeline forward. Let me know in the comments below what ones you're keen to implement this week and if you need any help with them. If you need help making this happen and someone to actually implement some of these tactics and changes for you, like I say, there's a link in the description to book in a call and we can discuss whether your business will be a good fit and how we get you to that next level, and how we fix your tracking, build your audiences, make ads that aren't boring, and get you more leads more often, more real results. That's you. It's a free call, no obligation. You can book it in below. But cheers. Bye.